Instead, Remy Ma is providing Papoose with questionable recordings of herself after months of infidelity with Easy, the black captain's protege. Sincerely, she thought that the recordings would lead him to end their relationship. But he was unimpressed, and now it seems that Claressa is exposing her as needy and attention-seeking. Remy is starting to see how terrible it was to abandon Papoose, but it's too late. She sends him video of her pet, but he never asks to watch it. "Claressa, you seem so indifferent." Despite her declaration that she is not someone to be toyed with, the real question is why she is trying to win this man back after he moved on with Claressa and what her actual goals are. Let's begin then. Remy is behaving this way because she feels pressured to be everything Claressa is not and probably never will be. In case you were curious, Claressa has won multiple world titles in 5 different weight divisions during her career as a professional boxer. However, because of his challenges as a rapper, Remy lost ground to Nicki Minaj. She used, of all persons, easy-to-block captain to betray Papoose after her prison sentence. Keep in mind that the only person who supported her during the time when her life was falling apart was Papoose. She probably thought he would stick with her and put up with her behavior, but as he advanced and changed, she got a harsh reality check and she started to lose it. However, it should come as no surprise that she believed Papoose would always be there for her. He was her ride or die, even sacrificing his freedom to help her break out of jail. As another testament to his commitment to her, he married her while she was still in prison and they exchanged vows over the phone. He also stayed devoted to her and never left their connection, even when she was in prison and he had total freedom to do as he pleased. Without competent attorneys to defend him, things would have gone considerably worse, but fortunately, they just barred him from visiting her for 6 months. After all of that, she decided to betray him by going to see one of his close friends. Many were even surprised by how quickly he moved on, especially with someone as famous as Claressa. Surprisingly, she genuinely thought he would remain at her side and continue to pursue her. Many assumed he would wed someone modest and inconspicuous, but when she found out, she was blown away. Claressa is the pinnacle of skill and beauty. Unlike Remy, she's stuck with Easy. If I were her, I would be upset too. She thought that Papoose would find someone beneath her to show that he would never achieve, but he did, and she couldn't handle it. She even tried to stir up controversy online in December by sharing screenshots of Papoose and Claressa that she had taken at her place while Papoose was sleeping. While he is chatting with Claressa Shields and taking a nap in my residence, Papoose. She was too terrified to leave this and win the world boxing title, so she hung up the phone as soon as she heard my voice. "My dear, I'm telling you everything. They're not isolated. Why are you tagging me if I'm not the only one?" In reaction to Remy's comments, Claressa asked, realizing she wanted to clarify. In response, Remy shared more images of Claressa pleading with Papoose to stop bringing her up, claiming that this was awful PR for the entire movie she was releasing. For far too long, the PR team has been spreading lies about me every day in an effort to paint him as a saint and me negatively. I begged Papoose to stop pushing the story, and he responded that the best course of action was to be quiet. "You're certain that everyone will see it, but don't worry, I saw it all. I am absolutely exhausted. Oh, and he said that he would never be interested in you as you're not his type." You were undoubtedly wondering where Papoose was when Remy tried to drive this woman. Instead of spending Christmas Day with his children, he shared receipts on Instagram that proved Remy's adultery with Easy. "Remy was here last Christmas while I was at home with my daughter," he mentioned. "Now that I've moved on, she's angry and dishonest. She objected when I told her that we could file for divorce like grown-ups, since I wouldn't pretend that I hadn't checked Easy. Who cares about the debate?" He didn't even respond once. #very wary aware everyone could see him in the fetal posture when I last saw him. Remy Ma, I went up to him, roused him, and brought him home for 4 days. My daughter was excited to lie about it again when I brought her home with him, as seen by her head nodding. Because he was involved with my wife, I didn't confront him. Instead, he shook my hand before making a move on my wife. This tragedy was shared on Facebook by Claressa's ex-boyfriend, with whom she had broken up. I hit him, Ma, and he even threatened to touch Remy in an effort to protect her. Aren't you all convinced that I'm insane? It may be problematic when an ex-boyfriend defends his ex-girlfriend in a disagreement that is unrelated to him. Remy first gave the impression that he was separating from Papoose and Claressa, but this didn't last long because they soon started to show up everywhere together, and Claressa even admitted how much she loved Papoose.
Yeah, that's why I said I love him. I love having his support, you know what I'm saying? His support is like very, very different from what I've had in the past, and how he speaks to me and stuff is very different. There we go. We deserve each other. Like, I want to keep him all to myself. I didn't really.
As if that weren't enough, there are whispers that Papoose will soon give Claressa the finger. Remy became naturally furious over this and started acting out. She allegedly tried to re-enter his life by sending him sexual movies and photos of herself on his phone. I'm not sure what he is if this isn't demonic conduct. Even though she is aware that this man is in a committed relationship, she continues to behave in this manner. Fortunately, Papoose doesn't believe it, and Remy now appears more desperate than ever. Different people have different opinions. One participant said, for instance, that a 1-year delay is suitable. One individual said that Remy fumbled a nice black man. He had been hitting it for at least 2 years, according to Remy's son. Pat had approached things slowly and methodically, and it was clear that God had blessed his choice. Remy made an attempt to woo Papoose back after cheating on him, but I'm interested in your thoughts today. The majority of women would have stayed away from it. After all this, do you still think Papoose will go back to her? Please remember to click this link to watch this crazy video and feel free to leave a remark below.